Welcome to the Jen Cares Powered by Chosen Live podcast, a podcast that brings the community to you. Each week, we feature a guest that will help us stay in the know. We are here every Monday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Be sure to like, comment, and share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Well, good evening and welcome to Jen Cares Powered by Chosen Counselors, where we bring the community to you. Tongue tied, where we bring the community to you. All right. I am your host, Jen Cares, and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. As always, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining us on tonight. Those that will join us at another time, those that will listen to the audio podcast that we have on most podcast streams. I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, last week was amazing. And that was the perfect episode to come back on, okay? Friends, be sure to connect with Trey's mom, aka Coach, aka Mentor, aka Pastor Dr. Chandra Williams. Yo, it was amazing. I will be scheduling my session with her because, I too want to make sure I'm on the right path, that I'm not overwhelming myself, that I'm not putting too much on my plate. Why? Because it's going to overwhelm me, and I don't want to do that. So again, if you need a coach, a mentor, please be sure to check in with her as she has some spaces available. So I'm excited, going to get myself together, make sure I stay together. Now I want to take a moment, though, because I want to pause for the calls and say, what? Congratulations to who? Me. See, sometimes you got to toot your own horn. Why? Because it's our anniversary. This month, I think it's 2 years. Yes, 2 years that we've been going live. So I'm so excited for the opportunity to be able to share these resources, to come and talk, to get you in my business, hopefully get in your business to help you be a better version of you. Again, I'm just truly grateful for the doors that this opportunity has opened for me, for others. I just thank God. As we're going into this new year, I will also be launching the meetup. Boop, boop, boop. The meetup is happening, and I'm so excited for that because the meetup is a time for purpose-driven people to come together, to be encouraged, to be strengthened, to be reminded that you were chosen for this. I get into a lot of conversations with others about, like, should I stop? Should I keep on going? Guess what? We're coming together to talk it out together, okay? So if you're interested, head on over to our website at chosencounselors.com and sign up today. I want you to attend this purpose-driven gathering every quarter. We're going to come together for support and accountability. All right, because sometimes we need some help. I'm gonna get some accountability, you're gonna get some accountability, we all gonna get some accountability. All right, so again, that's launching next month. I'm excited for it, but let's get into the reason why you joined us on tonight. Hey, tonight's theme, or this month's theme, is no apologies. A lot of times things happen in life and we be like, oh, I'm sorry, or it didn't work out for the other person and we saying I'm sorry. But guess what? Sometimes you got to do some things for you and no apology is needed. There comes a time where we must go. There comes a time where we must grow. And sometimes those around us don't always appreciate it too much. Why? Because it's messing up their flow of things. But guess what? No apologies, friends. No apologies. We are entering into the last month, Lord help us, the last quarter, the last leg, half, okay, of the year. And we want to be able to do those things that we said we was going to do in January that we still didn't do. It's still time. It's some growing that we got to do. It's some going that we got to do. And guess what? No apologies. Last week, we spoke about the importance of time and the value of time. And sometimes we have to tell people no. And ouch, I'm learning. I saw a meme going around and it was like saying, can I borrow $100? And then a person comes out and the music begins and they start singing, there is no way. I was like, yes. Guess what? Sometimes we got to say there's no way. There's no way, especially if you need that $100. Every time you don't got to always give it. You could say no sometimes. There's no way. Say no. No apologies. Woo. So I'm excited for tonight. Because tonight we're going to talk about going. And going, it could be hard, friends. Why? Because we get comfortable. I was reflecting on college life when I went away to school. If I would have stayed there after I graduated, it would have been a little odd, right? Why? Because it no longer served its purpose. I went there for what I was supposed to do, and now it was time for me to go on. But sometimes we get into some things and we just stay and stay and stay when it is time for us to go. And tonight, oh my goodness, when I thought of this scene, I mean, it was almost like seconds later, she had posted someone. I was like, oh my gosh, I need her. Why? Because she was right in the vein of what we want to talk about. Because it doesn't mean that it's easy to go. But I promise you, if you do go, let me talk about wait. If you had the leading to go, because sometimes we leave some stuff that we shouldn't leave. God bless. Yep. But if you have the green light to go, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about some times when we didn't have that green light, and God bless and keep us. And don't look at me like that because you didn't have a green light all the time and you went too. God bless. But I am excited, can you tell, about this month's 2-episode hitter. Tonight, as I shared, we have Christian Mills. Let me come over to the comments for a second. Hey, Pastor Mills. Let me tell you, I love her so much. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Jeannie. Oh, Miss Thelma. Yes, 2 years. Can you believe it? Hey, Destiny. I got to get Destiny, too, because Destiny, let me tell you about the Mills family. We had Mama Mills. Now we got a baby Mills and some other Mills, and they all done some amazing things. Happy anniversary. Thank you so much, Jeannie. Yes, no apologies. Mama Wanda been here since day one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into it. Let me calm down. Calm down. Whew, calm down, because it's about to get good. Tonight we have Christian Mills, and as I share, she's going to talk about go. So get yourselves together. It's going to be tight, but it's going to be good because it's just what we need. Welcome, Christian Mills.
Hi, Jen.
Hey, how are you?
I am doing amazing. How are you?
As you could tell, I'm really excited.
I am too.
But you know, going is not always easy. So you got to find some joy in something because sometimes it hurts.
Listen.
Sometimes it hurts. But over here at Jen Cares, we start with a quote of the night, quote of the day. And our quote for today is, if you are brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. If you are brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a really good quote. That's a really good quote.
Life will reward you with a new hello, but you got to say bye first.
Definitely.
That's the hard part. Why is it so hard?
I think that, a lot of times God puts us in positions where we prayed for something. He gives it to us, and then that's the blessing. But in certain other seasons, the very thing you were blessed with, he'll ask you to give up. And I think it's hard because it doesn't make sense in our minds, and we want it to make sense.
I'm glad I'm not alone.
No, it's like, why? But Jesus, you gave me this idea, this friendship, this business, this relationship.
Come on.
And now you want me to let it go? That's the difficulty. It doesn't match up in our head.
Right. And I'm learning that learning is the process. That in that, because he did give it, sometimes it's that season, and sometimes we think it's for a lifetime. And in that season, we're learning some lessons that hurt, that also feel good, but then we're also having some joy in it. It's a whole ball of emotions.
It is. It's a whirlwind. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. So let's get into it, Christian. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about who is Christian.
Sure. I am a lot of things. I am the oldest of 5. I am an educator. I'm passionate about education and just seeing our brown and black boys and girls win. I'm a creative. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a kingdom influencer and a culture shifter. I've recently realized that God sends me places to change things and shift things up and shake things up, and it didn't always feel comfortable, but I'm finally comfortable with it.
Yes. She said a shaker. Now, normally when you shake stuff, you definitely got to move after it gets shaken up, because one day, like, upset, it's about to explode. But then, she said shift of the culture. And that's uncomfortable, too, because that means you're really pushing people who don't want to be pushed. So who pushes you? Who pushes you?
Wow. God pushes me. My family pushes me.
Mm-hmm.
My friends push me. My mentors push me. Um, I mean, the people that I have in my circle, they really push me and challenge me. Even on days where I'm like, this is too much, Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is going to be worth all the fight.
Mm.
If all the purpose you've called me to is worth me having to duck and dodge and bob and weave every other day. But they remind me that, I was built for this. There are things that I'm called to that are so much greater than what it may look like in the current season or circumstance. And, some days I don't want to do it, but in having people that push me, they are in turn people who I can push back and encourage and motivate and inspire. And I think that's why it's important to have the right people in your circle.
Mm. You say, I don't know if it's worth the fight. If I'm honest with myself, I had a conversation with myself. I'm gonna just fight at least once a week.
Yeah, it's given about once a week for me. I'm like, Jesus, you see me down here, just because I won the last battle don't mean I want another one.
Come on. Can I get a break? Can I get a pause?
Time out, halftime, anything.
Man, I don't know if it's worth the fight. And that's so big. And I think the part that you said too, like you won the last battle. So let you know, like if I got through that and I got on the other side and see the amazingness on the other side, maybe I could. But Lord, these people crazy. Lord, this is that. Lord, that ain't right. Lord, it ain't adding up.
Your people.
Your people.
That's how I talk to God. These are your people, Lord.
Let's pause there for a second because that's really important because people think you have to do all these and thous and things of that sort. And me and my relationship with Jesus, he probably be like, this child. Because I be like, God, you said it didn't happen. I'm tired. I don't want to be bothered. Can you just lead them away from me for a little bit? Because I don't want to see none of them. I don't want to hear none of them.
Come on.
Right now was not the day.
It gets like that.
And then somebody come along and you were like, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the amazingness of God where he allows us to have those moments.
Yeah.
But then he's like, all right, get yourself together, get back in because I need you to do X, Y, and Z. Because somebody comes along at that moment that needs some encouragement and be like, I guess I ain't done.
Right. This must be what the fight was for.
Yeah, this must be what the fight, because it's not for us.
No.
It's always to help somebody else. I get into a random conversation and somebody be like, yeah, because I'm going through blah, 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 blah. And it's similar to something I did. And I'd be like, well, this is what worked for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to hear it. It wasn't even for me, the blood, sweat, and tears that I went through.
It's for everybody else. And in the moment, it doesn't feel good, especially when you get to the point where you realize it's for everybody else. Like, why do I have to be crushed to help everybody else? But like you said, when you realize it's not about you, it makes things so much easier to process and so much easier to walk through.
That's it.
In some moments, because I'm not gonna lie to you, there be days where I'd be like, okay, God, I'm done for today. Time out, and it's 8:00 in the morning.
Yes.
But it's like once I get past my human moment, my little hissy fit, it's like, okay, this is gonna make sense at some point, and I would really love for it to make sense sooner rather than later.
Yes.
But this gotta work out, and because it's gonna work out and bless somebody else, it's gotta work out and bless me too.
It gotta work out in.
It's gotta bless me too.
It gotta work out in.
It's gotta bless me too.
And that's the part that we forget. Sometimes if we pouring out for other people, I be like, God, when I be in those moments, I be like, God, there's no way that I could be there for these other people. You're not gonna look out for me. Because I'm taking my focus off whatever it is I'm dealing with and putting it on somebody else. So I know without a shadow of a doubt,
it's gotta come around and bless me.
It's gotta come back around. Another part you said was really important too about your mom typed it in, the right people in your circle.
Yeah.
How hard is that process?
I think that it's so hard. I think at 29, I was going through different shifts just over the last decade, and growing is stretching. And I watched a sermon recently, Surviving Redefining by Sarah Jakes. That was so good. And she just talks about how growth comes with grief, and how, we say in church, you go from good to great, or we go from glory to glory. And she was like, you really go from good to grief to glory. Because in the seasons that we're growing and shifting, we have to lose things. Sometimes we have to lose people, friendships, relationships. We got to lose places or things we're familiar with or habits that aren't necessarily bad, but that just don't have permission to go. And so I think over the last few years and really figuring out what my purpose is and the things that I'm called to do, I've had to let go of some things and some people that I thought I would always have. And it's difficult because I don't think they don't prepare you for that in school. They don't always prepare you for that in any environment. What do you do when you have to let go of people that you thought would be along for your journey? So it's difficult. But on the flip side, it makes you appreciate the people that can support you no matter where you go or where God has called you to or how he's transformed you, that can accept your human you and let you live and laugh and love while you also are walking out your purpose and your calling. So I think it's a delicate balance, and it's hard to strike, and it's hard to process sometimes.
Yeah.
It really can be hard to process.
Yes. It's the piece you said of people you thought that would be there. So it's two ways that could go right. Either they leave your circle or leave your presence and they're still alive, or they leave your presence and they going on to be the Lord, or wherever their reservations are. Put it that way.
Hello.
And you're not prepared for it. I'll never forget. I was finishing up my second year of school, and during that break, my mom passed. I was like, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's going on? But the amazing part is the Bible says, when my mother and father say, the Lord bring you up, and things turn, and how God has strategically placed people in like a domino effect as needed, when needed. I connected with someone the other day. She was like, well, who do you have to support? She said, well, you have my number. You can call me anytime. And I was like, God, you are amazing. Meaning that when somebody does leave, somebody else does come.
Somebody sent.
That's what you need. But again, that doesn't mean that they stay forever. Yeah. It's a season. Because either they go on or their life changes and they adjust. But that's the amazingness of God, of how I'm gonna fill that hole for a little bit, because you need that support right now. So he gives us what we need as we need it. Some are lifers, some are part-timers, some are I just saw you. Wait, I don't see you no more. Like, what happened? But it is hard, harder when like they're still alive and you're like, well, what happened? Like, exactly. Sometimes we're like, God,
okay, thank you.
Let them go. I would have been locked up. They won't let me out. Come
on.
Yeah, people can take it out.
Yeah.
But yes, that's all right. God bless. That's the interesting part of like that going, the people leaving.
Yeah.
Let's talk about leaving things. What are some things that we have to sometimes leave?
Well, I can say recently, my biggest thing I've had to leave is my business. So previously, for the last 2 years, I've had a business.
Wait. Before you say that, what was your business? Let's talk about the LEAP program.
Yes, the LEAP program.
The name of it was really nice. So what's the LEAP program? Tell us about your baby.
Yes, that was my baby. I love being a business coach and strategist, helping women of color launch, grow, and pivot in their businesses. And that's something that I've spent the last 2 years doing through the LEAP program, which was my 6-week coaching program where I helped women launch. And even through my strategy services, where I was able to help women grow their businesses by working with them for 3 or 6 months. And I loved it. I mean, I really loved it. It felt like my thing. It was like all my skills came together. God was favoring my business. It was growing huge. In 2021, it grew 7 times what it grew in 2020 when I first started it. So I'm like, Jesus, this is it.
Yes.
And then earlier this year, God started nudging me to take a break. So I took a break for like 6 weeks in March and April just to like be. I'm like, I've always been on go, working, going to school, working, running a business, doing all these things, juggling, serving in ministry and all these things. So God was like, just take a break. So I took the break. And I'm like, okay, God, we're great. I came back. I rebranded some things. I added a new name. I added one new service. This was maybe the middle of April. I'm like, okay, we're going to get back. I got my energy back. I got my rest back. I'm ready to help more women win in business. And God was like, no, not really. Just kidding. So around the middle of May, I started feeling a strong pull that God wanted me to put my business down. And I'm like, God, you want me to take another break? And so, I did fast. I prayed. I really kind of went back and forth within myself. Like, is this what you really want, Jesus? Is this you?
Yes.
Or is this me? Like,
Yeah.
am I just over it? Because sometimes I can become over things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, God was like pulling me, and I kept asking for confirmation. I'm like, God, this is you. When I put this masterclass out, don't let nobody register. Nobody registered.
Oh God.
I'm like, I ain't had a masterclass nobody registered forever.
Oh God.
Then I'm like, okay, if this is you, you know, do this, let this thing not work. So the thing don't work. And so I'm like, God, if you don't do this by June 1st, I'm letting my business go. I can't even remember what that was. But by June 1st, it didn't happen. And so June 1st, I literally was writing in my prayer journal, like, I believe God has called me to let my business go. And I have to come to terms with the fact that, am I going to be obedient or not? I mean, like crying, worship music in the background, lashes about to come off, like, because I'm heartbroken that God is asking me for this thing that brings me joy, that I'm passionate about, that helps other people. That's another stream of income. Like, all these great things, God, and you're going to ask me to give it up? And so on June 1st, I decided that I'm going to give up my business. And I put on social media that I'm letting it go. God is asking me to surrender my business. And he was also at the same time asking me to bring back my women's ministry, to Surrender Life. And what made it real for me was, I don't think I could bring back my women's ministry if I couldn't first be an example of surrender. So I let it go. And it's been about a month and a half of me not being business anything, of me being Christian.
So can we break this down a little bit? You know, if you go to church and you're in the Bible and things, how you break down the scriptures.
Come on.
Different pieces. So we about to treat the text of her life. Y'all ready, friends?
Period.
So let's talk about in the beginning how you knew that this was something for you to do. What was the light bulb that said, yes, I need to launch Leap Baby? And tell me about their process.
Sure. So a couple of years ago, I had started teaching. I was getting my master's in special education. And I actually started it the fall before the pandemic started. And so I had always enjoyed teaching, always enjoyed strategy. Didn't matter what environment I was in. If I was in higher education, in the classroom, in sales and retail when I was in college, like figuring out how to break down goals and create the strategies to get to success on behalf of whatever group of people or organization was something that I enjoyed. And so I had felt that I had been working since 16. And I think at that time I might have been 25 or 26. And I was like, you know, I may work for someone for the next decade, but I don't think that I'm going to work for someone forever. So I need to start figuring out, you know, what's going to be my side hustle, what's going to be my passion project, you know, that helps create another stream of income and impact. And that was important for me. And so I was like, well, you know, people started asking me how to build their businesses, or people kept sharing with me they had business ideas. And they didn't know what to do. So I'm like, oh, well, you should do this, 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 and this. And I think in a span of like 3 months, maybe 4 or 5 people had talked to me about that. So I was like, I could be a business coach. I guess I could be a business coach. Like in my head, I thought that I need to have a successful business, create all these things, prove that I'm successful, and then tell people I could coach them and help them grow. But then I realized me launching my business and building my business and helping other people's business grow is also proof that I can help other people's business grow. And so it really just started as a way to build another stream and create options for me in a way that would allow me to help other women to create options for themselves.
See, this is good, friends, because sometimes the things that we're leaving from or that we have to go from doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It was an amazing idea. It was helping people before they added a coin. Then it added a coin, triple times. It was the kind that fold, actually, not the one that jingle, friends.
Come on.
So, like, this was really working. Like, people coming because they're like, oh, no, I see the fruits of it. I want to be a part of it. Can you help me? A good thing going.
A good thing.
Something she was enjoying doing. It just came natural to her.
And God said, put it down.
And then God said, put it down. So let's talk about this, though, because at first, he said, take a break. So God be like dangling stuff in her face, like, God, you know all this long you was going to do this. God bless. Got my conversation with Jesus.
Okay, that was my conversation.
Yes. So he tells you to take a break. So you're seeing how it's blooming. You're seeing how it's blossoming. You're seeing this flower grow. He says, take a break.
Yeah.
How easy, friends, is that for you to do? If God told you, All right, I see it's going good, but I want you to pause.
Listen, it was hard. I mean, I had just started a new mastermind group for women who wanted to work with me for the next, I think it was 12 months to strategically grow their businesses. And I think I worked with the first few women in that mastermind group for January, February, and the beginning of March. And I literally had to tell them, like, I have to shut my business down for the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm taking a break. And I'm like, they're going to think I'm crazy. They're going to think I'm unprofessional. They're going to think X, Y, Z. But I did. And even one lady, I think her payment went through because it was like end of February for March. I had to refund her payment. Like, I'm sorry, at this time, I have to take a break from my business. And did I kind of need it in my flesh? Yes, I was tired, a little bit overwhelmed, all the things. But my business was something that excited me. Even if I had a long day of work, even if I was a little bit tired, even if I had to fight a little bit, it was like, I'm going to take my nap, I'm going to get up, I can't wait to see my clients. The night's going to be wonderful. But when I felt God urged me to take a break, I was like, okay, this is a little hard, this is a little different. You know, I had some plans. I think I wanted to do something that was going to be in person in April. So it was like, Jesus, you cutting off my marketing time, Lord, but you cutting out March. Like, you know, it's stuff that we have plans that God is not worried about. And I just had to wrap my mind around, like, this is just a break. But I think I needed the break and to be able to take the break and just be and live and do in order for me to actually walk away. I don't know if I would have been able to walk away so not easily necessarily, but in a spirit of obedience if I had never taken the break.
Mama Mill said it's hard when you truly love it or love them. And that's funny because that was my segue. Because though right now we're talking about a business, we're talking about people, places, and things. From
Come on. People, places, and things.
You love them. You like them. You can't imagine your life without them.
Come on.
And then God is like, oh, take a pause. I never forget I was in a situation. And God was like, be quiet. I was like, okay. I started being quiet. And when I tell you red flags just started popping up, it was not a circus. It was not a parade. Jennifer, pay attention, sunshine. Pay attention.
Period.
And sometimes those breaks cause us to take that moment to then evaluate what's going on and know, should I continue in this? Should I stop in this? And a lot of times we get that urge or that unction, and we're like, oh no, it's gonna be okay. Let me keep doing it. Now, say Christian didn't stop when she did, though it was blossoming and blooming. If she didn't take the pause for the pause that God wanted her to take, it still gets overwhelming. Even in doing an amazing thing, you have to take a pause. So many people, places, and things, we working, you gotta still take a day off.
Period. Yeah.
You gotta take a day off. Because if not, you get burnt out, you get overwhelmed, you get tired. You're like, no, I don't even want to do this no more. It's some days I don't want to talk to nobody. Why? Because I talk to people often. And I want to talk to random people. And they be like, you know, because such and such happened in my life. And I'm grateful that people feel comfortable to share with me. But I also got to protect myself, too, to be like, Jennifer, you got to take a pause. You
need I need 24 hours.
24 hours. You know, you got to focus on yourself. You know? But how that break is so, so important, friends. I just wanted to really touch on that because, again, you love them. You love it.
Come on.
You love that money. You love that job. But are you even having time for your family? Are you having time for you?
Yeah.
What are you compromising? Are you staying real true? Or are you like, what's going on? What's going on? All right.
You teaching.
We took a break. And then we came back from the break. Let's talk about that. What was that process? Like, you really felt like this was about to be all right. I'm ready now. No, hold on. Pause before you do that. Another thing you said, you gave the person their money back. Friends, your name is on the line. If they gave it to you and you didn't provide the service, okay, God bless. All right. So you took this pause. You came back and now you're ready. Let's go back to there.
I was like, okay, what do I really want to do? And I was like, you know, I really enjoyed helping women launch. And that's been amazing. And that was the thing that got my business going.
Yeah.
But the thing that got my business growing was strategy. And I was experiencing rapid growth with my strategy clients. I was booked from February to December of 2021. And that was like, okay, this is what the numbers are saying. This is what the people are consistently doing. So I was like, I'm going to turn the lead program into a course. I'm not going to teach that live anymore. I'm going to change my name on Instagram to the Growth Strategist. Everything is going to be about growth strategy from now on. I'm mapping out my content for the next 3 months. Here's what's going to be offered in this month. Here's my plan for May, June, and July. Here's what I'm thinking about for the last 6 months of the year. And it was so interesting because on the one hand, I was super prepared to come back. But on the other hand, I had got so used to not being on social media, having evenings to myself. I think I had took some time to go hang out with my family, and my sister got engaged, and I got to see friends, and it just was amazing. And I was kind of like, this is what I want to do, but this rest feels so good, Jesus. How do I shift back into this moment of like my full entrepreneur lifestyle? This posting several times, scheduling my emails on Monday, giving some of my evenings back up. And it wasn't that I was not looking forward to it, but it was like balancing two worlds. It took so much to come out of being on go that by the time I fully rested, it was like, what changes do I want to make? And I had even started to make changes in my business. I was like, I'm only going to serve clients 2 nights a week. And I'm only going to have certain programs every other week because I like this rest thing. I like it. So I'm not going to be coaching every night all week. I'm not going to be stressed, all these things. So like I got boundaries in place. I know what I want to offer. Everything's going to be wonderful. And people have been asking for me to do something in person. So I put some polls on my stories, some polls on my email list. I'm going to do a strategic planning mastermind. And I'm like, this is not a Christian thing because I'm cool working from home, cool coaching from home. This is when you want to do something in person, let's talk about doing something in person. So I'm going to officially plan something in person. In June, I was going to do an in-person mastermind in DC. So I'm planning it. I'm looking at peer space venues. People are asking me about things in my DMs. They're telling me they're going to book when they get paid. Okay. It's like, it's the beginning of May. We got about 6-7 weeks. Getting good responses in my emails and things, but no one's booking. So I'm like, God, this is really weird because people really love my strategy services. People are asking for this. No one's registering for this. So I'm like, okay, let me change it to something virtual. So I changed the format in case people weren't available to travel. And around that time, I'm like, Lord, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. If I'm not supposed to be doing this, show me. Because I'm a big, if I'm not, show me, because I'm gonna put a lot of energy into everything I do. So I don't want to waste energy, and I don't want to be out of alignment. That's one thing that's really big for me. So I said, Lord, this is supposed to work. I'll just, rearrange this into a 3 to 4 hour virtual thing. If this, and I'm a really big guy, if this. I always challenge God to see, if you want to do this, let me see it this way. So I'm like, okay, God, if this is supposed to work, let me see people. I want to see 5 people registered by a certain date. It might have been sometime the last week of 2 weeks before May ended, because I was going to put a deposit down on the place. 0 people registered. So then I'm like, okay, God, taking my personal self feelings out of it, it felt like this wasn't oh my God, I'm sad because people didn't register. It felt like there's no reason this shouldn't work. What are you doing, Jesus? So I think after that, there was one more thing. And I can't remember what it was, but there was something that happened that made it so super clear that it was like, you gotta let go. It was one more like if this, then Jesus, okay, fine. And I just woke up and I said on June 1st, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this. And I don't want to get to the point where me being unsure leads to me being disobedient. I don't want to think I'm supposed to be doing something and I'm not supposed to be doing something to the point where I'm not supposed to be doing it. So I think I'm going to have to give this up just to be sure that I'm being obedient. And so when I first had posted about it, I'm like, I really think God's calling me to give my business up. I kind of was like, why are you sharing this on social media? But I'm really transparent with my audience, and I always have been. And so I felt like, I said, this may be I come back in several months thing. This may be an indefinite thing. But right now, God is calling me to give my business up. And I think when I posted it, it became real. It was kind of like I had this feeling, but I could kind of fight between both sides behind the scenes. I could decide I'm going to keep going. I could change my mind next week. I'm going to put it down. But when I put it out there, it made it real.
Whew. We specialize in bringing community to you, but we also work on some tough conversations. Mm-hmm. And I'm about to step on some toes. And guess what? I don't know. Because you talked about the research that you did. You talked about the time that you put in to put on the event and how you were ready for it. It was going to be in person. And let me tell y'all, friends, in-person events is no joke. I was about to cancel my last one a couple times, but then it turned out to be amazing. God bless, But sometimes there are times where you hear like, I'm going to do it, but when I get paid and things of that sort. And I get it because life happens. But when it is something for you to be in, you're going to be there. But also, you also had somebody else in the mix of saying, no, I told you not to do this. So let me give you the sign that you want it, right?
Right.
But as you were saying it, also had me thinking of, we talk about people, places, and things too. There's some jobs that we do research for, and we feel like, yes, this is the one. I got to do this. We're getting our stuff together. Our home office is going to be perfect. Our in-office is going to have all these things. Or is that person? Oh, we're going to be married. Oh, it's going to be this wedding. It's going to be that.
All these plans.
But if I'm unsure, that leads me to disobedience. So if I'm not really asking God, seeking God, knowing God, because he definitely gives us different signs. I mean, it could be a random person.
Yeah.
He uses animals, He uses people. I could be watching a random movie and I'm like, how in the world did this movie have what I needed to let me know what he was trying to tell me, or he had been telling me, And sometimes we get ourselves caught up in these things, and then we ask for signs. And the blessing is that, Christian, you yielded to the sign. I can't tell you how many people. I probably can tell you how many people I talk to. But we get caught up because we're like, no, this is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to work out. And, even with restaurants, I love Yelp and things that sort because the reviews and things. And sometimes you get some reviews and you try it out and it is good. But sometimes you get some reviews and it really was bad.
Hello.
Let me try it anyway. Friends, it is so important to take that pause when you are feeling like, maybe I shouldn't. And then if you ask for them signs, they got like they got all these memes I would see, but like, if this isn't the way that I should go, let me know. It's like a stop sign. There's like another sign on top of it, and it's clear as day.
That is not the way.
That is not the way. And then we still get it. So we're talking about going, but sometimes we think we want to stay.
Yep.
And we know that we should go. I'm gonna do it again, Jesus. Daggone it. Because the other thing is too, like, they was like the COVID-19 and things of that sort. You're like, it was fitting before, but you can't stay there anymore because it's not as comfortable. You gotta get something bigger. A shoe that's too small is the most uncomfortablest thing ever. You gotta go. You gotta leave that size.
We gotta stretch.
You gotta stretch. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But alignment is so important. We talk about Philadelphia all the time because we have a lot of potholes. And then, like, they fix the roads, but then it seems like they get messed up again somewhere else.
Just as fast.
They owe us a couple of alignments, if you ask me. But it's so important in a car to have that alignment together because it causes so many other pieces. But you have to take the time to see what's going on if something is out of alignment. You got to go to a specialist.
Come on.
To have them check it out, because I don't know how to work cars. I know how to put gas in. I know how to add some oil. I know how to put the windshield wiper. I even figured out how to do the windshield wipers. And I know that people poke their eyes out with that. I said, hey, if I was able to do it, she did that, But it's some things that's above my knowledge level that I got to go to somebody else. And if I go to them and seek support, what I look like now, listen, he said, you need a new tire. Oh, no, I'm just trust Jesus.
Hello, you gonna get down the road and wish you trusted the person that gave you the advice.
Because God uses people. Because if you already didn't know, that person, that mechanic, male, female, whoever, is telling you. And a lot of times we miss those signs, and then we go into that disobedience.
Yeah.
Oh. So you planned this event. You had said, God, if this is not for me to do, let me know. And he kind of made it as clear as day. So now it's time to like really say, all right, So long, bye-bye. Let's talk about that part of closing out.
I did a fast. I want to say sometime towards the end of May.
Hold on, wait a minute. Because now you cussing. You did a what?
I did a fast.
You did a what? What's that?
Listen, I feel like I fasted more 2022 than I ate the good food I want to eat. But I've been seeking clarity, and I was just like, you know what, God, I don't know what this is gonna look like, because if we're being honest, not only is this something I truly enjoy, that makes an impact and brings me joy.
Yes.
You're really asking me to just forego this stream of income.
Yes.
And so it was like, I'm thinking about the people that saying they're saving up to work with me. I'm thinking about the people I'm currently servicing and seeing their results. I'm thinking about the hit I think I'm about to take financially, in all honesty. I'm thinking about what is it going to look like if I put this down, because I am a person that is going to try something. So it's like, I've tried being a brand ambassador for a health company before. I started my women's ministry, kind of took a break from that. Are people going to think I don't stick to something? There's all these things. And so I really was just seeking God, like, okay, if this is what you're doing, help me make this decision. Help me not care about what it looks like to other people.
I care about what it looks like to other people, because we said what? No apologies.
Right. Help me not care what it's going to look like. And also give me peace. And, one of the things that people have asked me a lot when I was sharing that I was shutting down my business is kind of like, well, what are you going to do? Or like, who do you feel like you are without this business? And it's just so interesting, because during my break, I was able to just breathe. And it was like, I can breathe some more. I started yoga again. Like, I was going out on solo dates again. It was things that I picked up during my break that reminded me of the things that I did. Not that I wasn't doing them, but I wasn't doing them as frequently with balancing work and my business and life. And I think that moment reminded me of like who I am without this.
Yeah.
And so when it came time to let my business go, the one thing I didn't experience was like identity loss. Like, everyone knows me as a strategist. Everybody knows me as a coach. Who am I? One thing that I've been able to do in my content and things like that is share my passion for my purpose, enjoyment of my lifestyle, things like that. And so I never really struggled with who am I without my business. I just felt like it was going to be a loss for other people, and not in a I'm so great way.
Yeah.
But I had somebody write me like, I cried when I read your post because I've been saving to work with you. And so it's like, how do I deal with I'm being obedient? It doesn't really make sense in my natural mind. And I'm okay with it affecting me, but it might affect other people. It was a lot of mental things going on, and just trying to figure out like how to get past my human mind and be in my heart of hearts at peace with like, this is what I'm supposed to do, but I have to make peace with this within myself before I go talking to anyone else about it, because I don't want to be swayed. I don't want to be convinced. I don't want to be regretful. So I just needed time to make peace within myself. And then when I wrote it in my journal, I was like, I cried on June 1st. I wrote it down like, this is the day I'm letting my business go. I'm announcing I'm letting my business go by June 30th. It was a process. It was a process that I really had to go at. I told my parents, I think I'm supposed to let my business go. I told my sisters, I told some of my close friends. I told my boyfriend, everybody, no one was like, why? It was kind of like, if that's what God is giving you, go with it and be obedient. But that's why it matters you have in your circle. And some things you have to really sit with in private or in the private of your own, the right people within your circle, right? That can trust your purpose, or they're going to support your purpose. Because everybody else isn't going to understand. And there's some decisions you got to make in private and make peace with in private before you share them publicly.
Let's pause again for the calls. The private part, because God tells us to do something, and we go to tell somebody else, and if they don't believe, if they don't even know God,
come on,
so they don't understand, because to the natural eye, you making money, Christian, what you doing?
Right.
People, what you doing?
I had somebody write me like, so what are you going to do next?
Yeah. And the people are on you, and it's like, you need that moment to, one, embrace what God told you to do, of the stop.
Right.
And to figure out what the next step should be.
Right.
Because the wrong person be like, well, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And that ain't what God said.
Right.
You don't even feel right in you, but you feel like, well, maybe I should. You know?
Yep.
That private moment of people, places, and things. We go back to that. Like sometimes relationships and things. Sometimes you need a private moment to see if it really is all that it needs to be for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because other people are like, oh, you sure you want to leave him? You sure you want to leave her? Because you ain't gonna never get another one like them. And like that's probably the purpose that we need to go. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times people put their dazzle on it, and that's not the dazzle that God had.
Yeah,
and sometimes we go along with it, and it don't even align with our purpose.
Yeah, and they'll project their fears.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so that's why it was important for me to come to a place of peace. While it wasn't easy, I had to be able to come to a place of peace and then share it with other people.
Yes. You have to, because if not, they will rain on it. You're like, yeah, I want to write a book. Yeah, I want to start a business. Girl, ain't nobody else gonna want that business. You see everybody else doing that? Everybody else wrote a book about that. You know what? Don't rain on my sunshine.
Mm-mm.
But you have
even
to be
if my sunshine,
confident.
Even if my sunshine is me walking away from something, like you said, business, job, people, places, things. If someone losing that thing would be the end of the world for them, then they're gonna project that it's gonna be the end of the world for you.
And that's the importance of the identity, you know, of knowing who you are. And in that people, they see like their job is not who you are. It's something that you do.
Right.
But you're talented in many other areas, so you can do that for a little bit, do something else. That person who you are linked up with, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, husband, wife, is not solely who you are. They're an addition of you, an extension of you.
Exactly.
You know, that house is not who you are. It's an extension of you taking good care of, because at any moment it could go away.
It can go.
But you got to know who you are, and that's hard sometimes because we feel like, no, if I'm not doing this, what am I going to do? If I'm not with him, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
And sometimes we're in some situations that we shouldn't be in because they're not healthy for us. Because they doing whatever they want to do, and you try to live right and do right. But if I leave, where am I going to be?
And one thing I've learned is God will bless you on the way out of something, but if you don't make your way out of that thing, you don't get the blessings that come on your way out of that thing.
You know, when I was looking at, because it was the LEAP program, and it's so crazy because to go, a frog has to leap. That's how they get to the next spot. They can stay where they are, but you got to leap. You got to take that faith, hoping you're going to land on that other little piece, or you're going to swim a little bit. However they survive and think this. So I didn't do a thorough research on them. I know about frogs, the princess in the frog, and I don't know all their history and things. That's why I apologize.
That's okay.
But they got to leap. I do know.
Yes. And
that leap to extend your leg, to go from what is known to something that's unknown.
Absolutely.
Because it can also look good. That frog will go to leap and it looks green. It looks like it's good land because, you know, we always think the grass is greener.
Come on.
And you don't know what it is you're going in. But if I'm leaping because God told me to leap, how did you get the LEAP name though? What was the
actually, so interestingly enough, I got the LEAP program name from Mary and Elizabeth in the Bible. When they were talking about how when Mary knew she was pregnant, Elizabeth baby leaped.
Yes.
And so for me, it was that there were so many different people at that time asking me for advice. I would get excited when they had this thing. I want to start this business. How do I do it? And I would immediately be like, oh, you can do this, this, and this. No, you don't got to do that. You can start with this or you can do that later. In my spirit, I would leap. I would take their vision on as if it were mine. And I was originally going to call my business Elizabeth and Mary Consulting, but I was like, you know, the unsaved people may not understand who Elizabeth and Mary is.
They're like, hold on, that's her mom and grandma. It's a tribute.
Okay. And is her name Elizabeth or Mary? I'm not understanding.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? Let me take the concept of the leap, and you know, I understand what it means spiritually, but people can understand what it means physically, and have that play on words.
Yes. All right. So we leap. We went back to the beginning of it. Kizzy was saying this is so true. Be careful you share what you news with. Absolutely. Yeah. Because, you know, also, some people can't hold water.
True.
So it'd be something that you contemplate and you don't even know if you for sure going to do it and things like that. And then they saying something telling on your business like, well, how you know? I don't even talk to you.
Hello.
Be careful who you share your news with. Okay. All right. Got that off. So the idea came to you. You're helping people. It's going amazing. You take a break. You go back to it. God, give me a sign. Okay, maybe I didn't see that sign. Give me another sign. Okay, maybe God, give me another sign. And people say, don't question God or don't do all them things. Friend, if you're not sure,
question God.
And you need an answer, you go ahead and ask that question. Mm-hmm. Because if you feel like you're unsure and you feel like you are leaning, because what happens is we have a say in it too. Mm-hmm. Like if we're saying, is this me or is this you, God?
Yep.
Is this me or is this what I'm supposed to do? Get as much clarification as you need.
Yeah.
Now again, when you get it, then don't do something that you wasn't supposed to do when you dig it.
Okay, when you got your answer.
Yeah. Okay. But the other part you said too is like, that's what you said. The Bible says when you fast. She cussing too, like we know about, because and the part about that is to fast means that what I want, I'm refraining from. Because I need something greater. Mm-hmm. So I need the food to get me through the day. Mm-hmm. But I really need an answer from God to help me to get beyond today.
Yes.
So if I do this one sacrifice right now, it's going to help me beyond today. And sometimes we don't do that sacrifice. We like, oh, no, I don't fast until my pastor call a fast. And then some of y'all don't do that all the way.
But we're not going to talk about that.
I mean, we done put it out there already. We done put it out there. Or it comes around for a specific holiday and things of that sort. And though that's great, when they do it for Lent or when they do it for Holy Week and things, but sometimes it's a time for you to do that on your own. Like, God, no, I really need to know what is going on. There's so many things happening. In this heat, again, I'm if at your church, if y'all do a fast things, you take your medicine if you're supposed to take it, you drink some water so you don't have no heat wave, but you really, and sometimes it's really about that prayer time.
Yeah.
Get away from the TV, mm-hmm. because power gonna be power, grownish gonna be grownish, whatever show, Cosby gonna be Cosby, different word. And I do the old school shows, but that's gonna be them, and I don't watch them enough where I know what's gonna happen. Exactly. But I don't know what's gonna happen in my life because at any given moment it could change. So I need to say, Jesus,
come on.
I need to take a moment. I need to cut that out. And sometimes we don't always do that, and it's really important that you really silence those outside voices, those outside, events and things, because if not, you can get confused.
Absolutely.
And you get signs, but you
it's worth it's always worth the sacrifice.
Yes.
It's always worth the sacrifice. That's like my parents have always taught us about fasting. Mm-hmm. We started with the 21-day Daniel fast every year in January, but just going from, this is what you've learned and this is how it works to understanding, like, I call a fast on the second for myself, for my friends, for a situation.
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm a fast tomorrow, but I don't got nothing. I'm going to the grocery store. So I can make sure, because like you said, sometimes that show, that thing, that social media, it's going to be there. You can catch the replay. You can watch the episode. You can make that spaghetti next week. It's going to be okay. But if I need something from God and I need it now, I need to tap into God. I need to turn down the plate. I need to turn down the music. I need to turn off the podcast. Books and all those things are wonderful. But, how are you making time to hear from God? How are you seeking God? And a lot of times listening. That's something that I've been really intentional about this year, is actually sitting at the end of my prayer time and listening.
Yes.
Setting my alarm for 10 or 20 minutes and listening.
Yes.
Sometimes God speaks in that moment. Sometimes he doesn't. But a lot of us are having one-way conversations with God. Here's what I want. Here's what I need you for. And I'm going to go about my day. But he will actually speak back if you're looking for him.
Yes. If you're looking for him. Friends. And I promise on the other side of it, you'll get what you need if you really tune in. Even listening to your body. Sometimes our bodies are telling us that we need rest. Mm-hmm. It's the simple things. Let me not be so deep. I'm sorry. I know it's not Sunday. But it's the simple things. Our bodies are telling us that we're tired. Our head keeps on hurting because we need to go to sleep. We need to eat something. We need to drink some water. And we ignoring it. And then we laid up in the hospital bed. Or we can't really move around, do the things we want to do. We have to listen. We have to take that moment to find out, wait, what's going on? What's causing me to be off? Mm-hmm. What person is it? What place is it? What thing is it? We got to really evaluate. Because if not, Bless us and keep us.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've leaped. You now know that now you've leaped because you're into a new little area and things like that. But let's talk about the benefits since that the benefits since that go. What doors have opened from your obedience?
That's so funny that you asked that. Because before I get to the biggest one, I would say the day that I made the decision to give up my business, someone reached out to interview me for a podcast. This was a couple days before I shared it on social media. She sent me a DM. She came across my video on Instagram about moving to Charlotte on faith. She said, "Hi, Christian. I just came across your video from maybe a year ago. I want to interview you about your faith journey and surrendering in your process to move."
Yes.
And the exact language that she used, surrendering.
Okay.
In my process to move to Charlotte.
Oh, because we moved, right? Because we had to go.
Hello, that was about a year ago, last August. That was all of a matter of 3 weeks. And so when she said it, first it was confirmation that God, you are trying to bring me back to the Surrender Life ministry. Second, I knew if someone had asked me to do an interview about business, I would have turned it down. So that morning, I said I wrote down that I was going to give up the business. That evening, I got that message. So that was the first confirmation that I was doing the right thing. Then the next day, there was something that I had shared with my boss I thought would be good for our company. And at the time, I'm not really sure it was the best fit. But she thought it was a good idea. She reached out to me later. It had been maybe like a month. Well, the next day, she called me for exactly what we weren't sure was a good time for a month before. I think you would be great at XYZ. You know, can you put together a plan for XYZ? I want to have you do it, and I want to have you present it in DC next month. So I'm like,
in DC, where you were trying to have your event?
Yes, where I was trying to have the event.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So I'm like, okay, God, now you're moving on the Surrender Life. You're moving at work. You're doing some things. But over this last month, I've said my yes. I've shared my story. It's been bringing really attention to God, but that's also come with a lot of a fight.
Yes.
And I connected with a new church that's amazing. And so just over the last month, I've done a prayer night for the Surrender Life. I've helped the church with our big serve day over the weekend. But then I came back from DC with my work trip. My truck wouldn't work that weekend. I'm like, okay, God, I've been away before. My truck work, don't know what that is. I'm gonna count it as a distraction.
Yes, come on.
Went to Florida with my family for a week. Came back, my truck didn't work. I said, okay, Lord, I'm gonna use my good old roadside assistance. It's gonna work. This is just a distraction. This is what I had planned for the last month. Another week goes by, my truck stops working. I gotta get it jumped every 3 or 4 days. This is what the last 2 weeks have been like. And I just kept saying, this is a distraction. I refuse to give my energy to this truck. I really refuse. And the previous season would have took me out. I would have been boo-hoo crying. I'd have been like, God, what is going on? I got stuff to do. I just kept saying this is a distraction. So Friday, I went to look at what was going on with my truck. They said you need 2 batteries, an electrical issue. It's going to be all these things and all this money. I said, I'm not worried about it because tomorrow is serve day. I need to be able to use my truck for serve day. I'm not worried about it. I'm like, God, I surrender to you my business, my things, my extra stream of income. You're going to have to figure this out. I'm not worried about it till Monday. Well, today is Monday.
Yes.
So, God, you're going to do something about this truck. Long story short, today I went to go look at what it would cost to sell my truck. And when I went to go look at what it would cost to sell my truck, not only did they purchase my truck, I left with a new truck. And God blessed me so much that I left with a new truck and a check in my hand. And all I could go back to was my yes, my go, my obedience. If I hadn't surrendered the things that have been unfolding because I was willing to say no with no apologies and go with no apologies and no, I'm not going to be distracted. I'm going to walk in my purpose and no, I'm not paying this and God's going to figure it out.
Yes.
All of those things and that big blessing even today is like God said, you trusted me. And so I'm honoring you. Double the blessing. I said, well, I was just going to go get a price, Jesus.
Yes.
I'm still in shock because that happened a few hours ago. So I'm like, Jesus, I know the battle has been hard because it's the enemy wants my purpose. The enemy wants me to be quiet. He doesn't want me to show people the process.
Yeah.
I could have easily surrendered and never told anybody I'm putting down my business because of God, or never started the Surrender Life Ministry back up, or none of these things. But because I'm taking people on the journey, it's bringing glory to God. But that disrupts something in the earth. And God's like, you're not fighting for nothing. It's not for nothing. So when the days when I wonder, is it going to work out? Is it actually worth it? God's like, do you believe the word? What are you speaking? And how does it come to life? Because I've been standing on Amos 9:13-15 all July. I said, God, 2022 has been hard, but I believe I'm in a season of overwhelming, overtaking blessings. Blessings that's going to happen so fast, it's going to make my head spin. I've been saying that all July. My second half of the year is going to be way better than the first half of the year. And I called my mom to tell her what happened. She said it's Amos 9:13-15 season. And so when I say that the blessings, you can't get the blessings on the way out if you don't go.
Come on.
I don't know that, that podcast interview that I shared, and then you sent me the message about this podcast interview and different doors that have opened. I wouldn't have gotten these opportunities. I may not have gotten this blessing if I wasn't willing to say no with no apologies.
I tell y'all, Jesus be strategic with me when he be giving me like the themes and stuff, because as soon as it came in, I was like, bam. And it was really the leak part of it too, though. But it just was amazing how it all came together. The other part of you saying, God, whatever you say. And as hard as that is, look at the amazingness that happened on this side. That's to say instant praise break. Insert a couple of them. And
insert a couple of them.
God has no respect to persons. So if he did it for Christian, for believing and stepping out and doing what he told her to do, why can't he do it for you?
Come on. It starts with the no. I mean, I would not have believed that the things that are happening would be happening right now. But like you said, God does everything in order. God is a God who loves us. So even when it feels like he's harming us, even when it feels like, what's going on, Jesus? Because being Jesus, we have some real come to Jesus moments. Like, you see me down here? Do you see me?
I'd be like, God, I told you. Yes. Because I told him don't play in my feelings and emotions. I trust you. I believe that you could do what you said you was going to do. But God, this don't look like.
This don't look like it.
My feelings is hurting. What's going on?
Listen, I had said to my parents, I'm like, how much more do Jesus think I can take? I know he said he won't put more on us than we can bear.
Nope, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
I said, Jesus.
He put more on us. But you know what? It's more than we can bear, because what? He wants us to reach out to him.
Come on. And
we can't bear it because we got to reach out to him. And when we reach out to him, my jam, one of my jams has been Wait on the Lord by Merrick City. Yo, it don't make no sense that they have. But it was like, wait on the Lord. He will renew your strength. I say, wait on the Lord. And when you're waiting on God, it's not fun. But because you're waiting on God, your strength gets renewed of knowing, I know you're going to come through. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. But if I wait on you, you don't lie. If I wait on John, he might not come through. His call might break down. He might say, I ain't had the money. I couldn't do what I said I was going to do, and all these excuses and things. But if I'm waiting on God, I know it's going to come out. So I'm getting strengthened, because I'm like, it's going to happen any day now. It's going to happen any day now.
And you're going to do it. Because that's the thing about renewing my strength. One thing I've learned this year is, if I decide to wait on God, it's a lot of things I can just put in his ball court. And when I put it in his ball court, and I'm like, I don't have to do it. I don't have to be Miss Independent. I don't always have to be strong Black woman. It's some things where I'm going to just give it to Jesus. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to rest.
Going to sleep.
And I'm going to trust that you can do it. And I mean, it was for me such a faith move to say, I'm not dealing with this weekend. I'm assigned to serve day, Jesus. My truck got to move. I can't give it to nobody for 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to need to fix it by Monday.
Yes.
But I never thought that fix it by Monday was going to be all that it was today.
Yeah. She said she went to see about selling the truck. Sold the truck. Got another truck. And walked away with a check. You can't tell me
you can't
God is caring about his people if you trust him. It's the simplest things that you need. My refrigerator, if it ain't one thing, it's another, right?
As an adulting, child, that adulting.
It's for the birds. 10 out of 10. Do not recommend. I'm teasing. It really got some perks, right? But it was breaking. I was like, so the refrigerator not keeping cold, but the freezer still freezing and things of that sort. And I was like, no, we ain't eat nothing in the refrigerator because one, I don't play them games. But I was like, all right, God, we got to work out the process for the refrigerator and things of that sort. And I went out and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna put nothing in there. I'm gonna like get the refrigerator within a week. Yada who. One, review my options because you gotta do your research.
Hello.
You can't just buy anything. You want to know what it is that you want. And I come home that day and I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting. I was supposed to be getting some funds back. Came home and the check was in the mail. I said, oh, God knew I needed it. When I needed it, because I had to give it to him before my dumb self, special self.
That's it. It's the timing.
The timing of God, friends. The timing of God is really important. Came home, the check was there. I went to the store yesterday to look at the refrigerators to see what the options were. And I went the one with the freezer on the bottom. Because I never had one like that. I feel like I want that. I feel like that's nice, treat myself a little bit, make sure my food is taken care of. And it was on sale. She was like, well, that's a good deal because it's $700 off. I was like, okay. So then let me talk about distractions because it was a man in the store. He was like, well, did you measure? Well, one, I was really just coming to see what my options were because you can't tell me what God can't do. If I want it, it's going to work out how it should be. So but I was like, all right, that's a distraction. Jennifer, stay focused. You're just trying to see what your options are.
Right.
Went to that store. Then I went to another store, but it was that first one that I looked at. And I was like, okay. I was talking to somebody today in a meeting, and she was like, well, did you get what you wanted or did you just like do whatever? I said, I got what I wanted. Because sometimes you'll get what you want if you believe and hold on to God. Then I went on the website and tell me how it was $100 more cheaper. I said, God, you can make it a little cheaper tomorrow when I go if you want.
Come on.
What God does is if we wait on the God, if we don't get distracted, yes, the refrigerator went out, but guess what? I could go around to the store, get a sandwich, eat it. Don't got to worry about putting back in the refrigerator. God will make a way. You can't get caught up in the distractions, friends. If God is telling you to go, if God is telling you to move, no apologies. You got to listen to what he said and trust that on the other side of that, what you need will be there. Yeah. Now let me talk about what you need because it's not always what you want, but it's what you need.
It's what you need, and that's what I've learned. It's what you need, and sometimes the process is what you need.
Yes.
Sometimes it's really the process. For me, there's been times I've gotten so distracted, I'm worn out. When you're worn out, you can't show up. You can't fight. You can't intercede for other people. You can't do work to the level of excellence and be as creative as you want to be. And so I've just really been watching a lot of sermons and studying warfare, and just like the enemy wants us worn out. Because when I'm worn out, I can't speak life. When I'm worn out, I can't make an impact. I can't show up, right? So there were days where over the last few months, I'm like, I'm tired. I feel like I said, I'm going to do this thing for Jesus and give up my business. And the fight just went crazy. All hell's breaking every other day, Jesus. I'm sick of it. I'm tired. But I had made a resolve within myself that I refuse to get distracted over this last month. And there were moments where I'm like, I'm over it, God. I need 24-hour break. I need to cry a little bit. I'm tired. But I said, I'm not going to let this be a season where the enemy gets to shut me up.
Come on.
Where I don't get to show up, where I change my mind, where I don't move. And I even believe the thing with the truck was truly a distraction. There's so much movement that I'm making with the surrender life and going back to that and helping women surrender. With being a part of my new church and us doing Serve Day. You can't stop what I'm doing spiritually, so you try to stop my physical movement.
Come on.
And even in that, because I refuse to be distracted, God blessed me doubly. And it's almost like you're going to have to come harder than that. Now, while I would like a timeout, you're going to have to come harder than that.
But that's the amazing part. He is strengthening us. Oh, God. I asked God to remove a situation if it wasn't his will.
Yeah.
He listened to me, and I was like...
That's the thing. You be careful when you get to a point where you start to be careful with you ask God.
But this is the thing, right? I couldn't even cry about it. Why? God said, I answered your prayer. Friends, when you seeking God, when you fasting before God, one, he prepares you for whatever is about to happen too. He doesn't leave you unknown. You talking about them signs, they come. Yield to them, pay attention to them.
Period.
And I couldn't cry. And I was like, well, God, I can't cry. I'm still human. It still stinks. It still wasn't what I expected. But because I believe God, if that didn't work out, what you got coming, is greater. It reminded me of it's a meme where the person was at game and they gave her a small little teddy bear, and then he took the teddy bear, came back with a bigger one, took that one, came back with a bigger one, came back, took that one, came back with even bigger one, and that's how God works. So if he does something, you gotta trust and believe that what's coming is greater. That truck, it wasn't working, but you went, got another one, and a check. It's greater than what you even thought or imagined could happen. And that's the power in your go. If God tells you to go, sometimes you're going into something that you're scared of. Sometimes it's not that you're leaving something. It's that you're going into something. It could have been Christian going into the LEAP program, you know? But if you trust God, whatever it is, like, you know, even this platform in Jen Cares, I was doing my notes today. I was like, I think this is more for me than it be for them. I was like, Jennifer, you can't say that. But guess what? It's more for me because God is teaching me and helping me to be able to be a blessing to somebody. I'm like, God, you always got me telling my business. But guess what? It ain't about me. Because if I can encourage you to let you know that he got me, he got you too.
Yes. And
he got you too.
It's amazing. Like we said in the beginning, on them days where you're like, is it worth it? Is it worth the fight? Is my purpose? When is it going to get to the part that I know it's supposed to get to?
Yes.
But he shows up in these ways. And I was telling somebody that I feel like I have these really high highs in my life. I have these really low lows.
Yes.
But it's because the purpose that God has given me is greater. Like you said, the fight is a lot of times it's not for you. It's about what's on the other side of it. So it's like having those moments and saying, like, you know, God, what is this about? And a lot of times it's not about us, but will you still surrender to the process? And sometimes you got to take your hands off to surrender to the process. Had I been like, I'm going to figure out how to fix my truck, or I'm more focused on how to pay for this than I am on this serve day, or doing what I'm supposed to be doing this, it may not have been the blessing. And sometimes the best thing you can do is take your hands off and dare God, try God. I try him. I said on Friday, I said, Lord, this is you. You either going to have to send me the $1,000 to fix it, or you're going to have to turn this into $1,000, $2,000 blessing. Like, some days I just see what he does.
Yes, that's it. See what he's gonna do. And friends, y'all be careful of these distractions. Don't let these distractions get you upset. I was at a friend's house the other day, and the kids had messed up the house and things of that sort. And she was like, look what they did to the house. I'm like, it look fine to me. Why they kids? They gonna be busy. When they done, then we clean it up. Why? Because right now you get in a tizzy and they gonna mess it up again. It's all right, let them be. And sometimes that's the distraction try you get off, for the importance of seeing them just enjoying life, being a kid and doing those things. We can clean up later. We always gotta clean up.
That's it. And let God, and sometimes it's for God to clean up. There are a lot of battles that we don't have to fight.
That we don't have to fight. You know, my favorite hymn is oh, with peace we often forfeit.
Yes.
Oh, with needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to prayer.
God
and when you really put something in God's hands, me and my mom used to have a prayer growing up. God, you knew this was coming before it came, so we trust you to work it. We trust you to fix the situation. Oh, what needless pain we bear. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. If I give it to God,
come on,
He the best person to handle it. Because again, if I handle, we already talked about, we could be locked up, could I be in some trouble.
Okay, if I do it in my strength.
Because sometimes those be distractions. They're like, oh, you want me to come out of character. Oh, you want me to go off. And that ain't me.
That's why I was telling people that tried to pull on my little Chester girl.
They try to pull. You know, and
I gotta push her down.
Girl, I gotta die daily. And people think that you can't go there, but you can. It's over the change that Jesus brought. But sometimes people try to take it. But when you realize that it's the distraction to try to get you off the game, because then you're like, I knew it. No, you knew nothing. I ain't messing up. Why? Because God has been too good. I'm excited, y'all. Friends, don't get caught up in the distractions.
No.
Yes, Belinda, there is power in your go. He got you. Yes. You know, and when I the other day when I came home, I immediately God told me, because I was like, God, I got a refrigerator, I got other stuff I need to be paying for. And I'm telling you, God bless. But God immediately said, how many more times do I have to show you that I got you?
And that's it.
If we just trust. God, I know that you'll make a way. God, you are in control. God, I trust you. God, where you lead, I will follow.
Come on.
Even when it hurts.
Come on. And how can I put my faith in action? That's one thing I've been doing. I want a new apartment. I didn't go on and look. I didn't put my feet on the ground. I'm going to go look at new furniture. Yes. Because sometimes it's in the, God, I'm specific. This is what I want.
Yes.
This the color that I wanted in.
Yes.
This the price range that I wanted.
Yes.
And I'm not going to run myself ragged to get it. I'm going to be specific because you said that I could ask and it be given to me. I can seek and I'll find. I'll knock and the door to be open. So I'm going to ask, seek, and knock so that when you set it up, I can be on the receiving end that you promised.
God, I can be on the receiving end of what you promised. Because also, friends, the blessings of the Lord maketh one rich and addeth no sorrow.
And no sorrow.
You said, if you struggling, that wasn't the Lord. It maketh one rich and addeth no sorrow. You get in a car that costs $500 a month, and that ain't in the budget. That ain't the blessing of the Lord. My car died a couple years ago. I was on my way to the dealership because I was like, the other one. We was one that was cut off. I said, now my car was Blessing. I said, come on, Blessing. It was a brand new car off the market thing. So when I had it for like 7 years, whatever I did, whatever happened, it was dying. I was like, God, we almost there. We almost there. We got to the place. I said, all right, God. So I don't want to pay no more than this a month. I don't want my insurance to go up more than $25 either, God. The insurance went up maybe $10. The car payment was $200. I said, you did that, God. And we walked out with the car. Why? Because God will give you what you need. And then I was riding around in the car. I was like, oh, I wanted this. Oh, yeah, got this sunroof. I wanted this too. Because one, the car that I originally was like saying I wanted, they was like, oh, they just sold it. But we got this other one we want you to look at. I'm like, all right, God. I thought I wanted the other one. You know, I had my whole up. But God knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes cannot see. So I say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain because when he brings what he brings, it's just what you need. That car is a blessing. Her name is Beautiful Blessing. So I call her Beautiful B, you know, because it went from blessing to a beautiful blessing because God blessed me with it. And when you give it back to God, that's the part. Because you can't ask for something from God and then forget it when you get it.
No, and that's why I said earlier, the timing of this is amazing because I'm like, oh God, I got this podcast interview tonight. I can't wait to tell how you blessed me. Yes. Because sometimes it's just in sharing the blessings that furthers it, that encourages someone else, that impacts somebody else. Because if you get blessed and you keep it to yourself, then you didn't experience the fullness of the blessing.
Yes.
And I'm like, guys, you not gonna bless me this good. I'm just now able to talk about it. I've been all afternoon. I'm like, I gotta take a nap. I got a podcast interview. Jesus, I can't wrap my head around. He blessed me so big, I had a headache. Lie to you not. Took a couple pills, took a nap, got up, don't have a headache no more. I could not wrap my human mind around what happened today. I said, wow. But it's a message of surrender and choice and fight and purpose. What could be on the other side if you choose not to give up? If you chose to surrender to the process and you put your focus where it's supposed to be and take your hands off of things. And this year, God's been teaching me to take my hands off of things.
Yes.
I can advocate for myself. I can get the job done. I can do it. I can communicate. I can write the letter. I can have the conversation. I can do all the things. But this year has been a year of this battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. It's been a year of you don't got to do that. Sit back and let God work because nothing is impossible for God.
Nothing.
And he's been showing me, I got you.
Whew. I got you, friends. He got you. He got me. He got us.
Yes.
We will make it through. Now, again, wait a minute. He got us, but it's still some stuff we got to do. We got to trust him.
Yeah.
When he's saying stop, we got to stop. When he's saying go, we got to go. When he's saying move, we got to move. When he's saying be quiet. Because sometimes, as you say, you can speak up for yourself and things, but sometimes God is saying be quiet and just watch me work.
That's it.
Because he said vengeance is mine. So you don't always have to go to that. Let me do what I do, how I do it, and you'll be surprised. Because they're like, you know what? I'm sorry. It didn't work out well. I shared a while ago, I had a situation at work, and something went, I didn't like how it went. I had already forgiven them because of that, but I also made, known what my thoughts were. And I'm like, I apologize. I didn't need the apology because I already accepted it.
Right.
On credit.
Hello.
Because it was a distraction. It wasn't going to mess me up, but I also want you to know you can't do it that way. This is how we got to do it. And then it was like, I'm so sorry. Then like the relationship change and things that sort. But even if it didn't go, God, I was already good. Why? Because maturity in me. Friends, I am way more mature than I thought I was. God just continues to surprise me.
Girl, what the growth will have you like, what? I didn't say nothing. That had to be Jesus.
Had to be Jesus. Why? Because he's making us and molding us to be like him. And we can't say that for Christ we living, for Christ we dying, then we doing any old kind of thing out in these streets.
Come on.
I'm like, oh, I thought they knew Jesus. Oh, ain't that the minister? Ain't that the this? Ain't that the preacher's daughter?
Come on.
You know? And fortunately, like people like, oh, put that spotlight. Yeah, you should be doing a little bit better. Forgetting about the fingers that's coming back at them.
Exactly.
Nevertheless. But because I do have that relationship with God, I'm going to say, you know what? I surrender to God.
Yep. I'm going to let God have it.
Whew.
Yep.
Friends, I don't know how long it's going to take me to come off this high tonight because I'm excited about this go. And I want you guys to be excited about go. Next week, we talking about grow because that's a hard process too. But the thing about this go, again, is no apologies. There's some things that you got to let go. There's some relationships you got to let go. There's some places you got to let go. No apologies because you know that it's not good for you. You know that it's better if you stop doing it.
Yeah.
Health-wise, there's some things we shouldn't be eating. There's some things we shouldn't be ingesting. Alcohol, the Bible say don't get drunk. And some of us getting too drunk and then it's messing up with our liver and then it's going to cause some trouble down the line. These cigarettes, after a while, they mess up with our lungs. It's going to cause some trouble down the line. We got to do some things.
Come on.
We got to let some things go.
Yeah.
Or not as much. Maybe like break down a little bit where it's not as much. Whatever it is, at your pace.
Right.
And if you really want to let go, whatever it is, if you say, God, I don't want to do this no more. You really mean it? And you really put the work in and try to really steer yourself from going that way? Because we could drive all day long and we'll see a fast food spot. It's up to you whether or not you're going to drive in that drive-through or not.
That's it.
Do you got the willpower? I believe you do. Song came out years ago. I got the power. I'm telling you, move. We gotta move. We gotta move.
You ain't right, but you're so right. Because we do have the power and we have choices. We have decisions.
Yes.
And it's that moment of decision. If you're really ready, like you said, and you invite God into it, he'll give you the power if you don't have it.
He'll give you the power. I was in middle school. I'll never forget. I was like, God, I don't want to cuss no more. Because I was getting out the car and I said a cuss word. My mom was like, huh? I was like, ooh. But I was like, I don't want to cuss no more. And again, middle school is not that far. But I was like, I don't want to cuss no more. Took it out of my mouth. I could use other words.
Yes.
Now I knew how to use other words to
make them pack a punch.
Make it wish I did cuss out. But however, God again, that growth has worked out for me, and it can work out for you. Christian, what's something you want us to walk away with?
I think the biggest message would be whatever your goal is in this season, give it to God and go. And in your go, don't let your distractions make you change your decision.
Don't let your distractions change your decision. Because friends, when you try to leave, it's like they pull out the icing, they pull out the cherry, they pull out all stops. They want you to stay. But if you know without a shadow of a doubt that God is saying, go, don't let them distractions mess you up.
No.
So friends, Christian is on a pause right now, but she is still doing the work of the Lord. When she is launching anything, I'll be sure to share so you can see and be a part, because we talked about Pastor Brandon put on there the integrity. What happens when you are integral and you do stuff the right way, when you do something else, they want to be a part.
Come on.
So when she brings it back, everybody gonna jump on because like, no, I saw you. You was doing right. It was really helping me. It was encouraging me. I want to be a part. So when she's back out there doing something, I put it out there. If y'all can, y'all go on and support. I'm trying to support myself too, because I try to support the people that I support, that support me and all them other things too. I want to encourage them that they can keep on going. Yes. So friends, don't let these distractions. Whew, that was good. I hope y'all enjoyed tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Christian. I'm going to let you go, because I'm still on a high for you with this call too, and how he gives us a check. I'm on a high too with my refrigerator, how God worked that out since the check was going on sale. I said, God, you want to let it go down a little bit more tomorrow? You probably like, you asked for too much. You're right, God. I thank you. I'm going to take
you. But you put it out there. He'll meet you. He'll meet you.
Yeah, There you go. There you go. You have not because you ask not, is what the Bible say. But friends, if you need to fast, if you need to hear something from the Lord, you do that too, okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for doing this, Christian. May you have a great, great evening. I'm going to be in touch.
All right. Thank you so much.
Be encouraged. Oh, goodness. That was amazing. We had the amazing Christian Mills. Oh, friends, did y'all enjoy that? That was good. Let me see what y'all said in the comments. Mama Wanda said, surrender to the process. And you know, the process is not always fun because it is not always working how we wanted it to work. But it works out how it should in the end if you just trust the process. But then they said, oh, yes, God blesses you with the things you didn't realize you wanted. We was talking about different things like what it is that you want and people, places, things, whatever it is. You know the things that you want or whatever you put on your list. But sometimes God be like, okay, I see your list, but I'll raise you 10 more points and let me bless you with this. I raise you. I don't really know poker, but I heard him say that. So I guess that's how it works. I know, but that's what Jesus be doing though. It feel like he be like, I'll raise you. Let me give you this. Let me blow your mind just a little bit more. If you just trust in him. Kizzy said, I love this. Thank you, Jen Cares Christian. I took away so many gems. Friends, if you have, been blessed by it tonight, be sure to share it with a friend. Destiny, I'm going to connect with you too. Let me tell you about the Mills clan. They all is the bomb.com, from the mom and the daddy on down to the babies. They all amazing. Sorry, they're all grown. Sorry, not babies. Y'all grown. Y'all all grown. Oh, this was so good. She said, girl, that was awesome. My soul is happy. And that's why we do what we do over here. We're trying to encourage somebody to know that you can make it. This too shall pass. Don't get caught up in the distractions. Oh, if he did it for me, guess what? He could do it for you. Don't forget our quote of the day. If you are brave enough to say goodbye, if you are brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello. Friends, if you are brave enough, because it takes some guts. It's hard. It's not easy all the times. My Lord. I'm encouraged tonight. Again, I want to say congratulations, Jen. 2 years is amazing. This process has been amazing. I thank you, each and every one of you, for tuning in, for staying on and loving on us and tuning in and all that good stuff. I thank each and every one of you. Don't forget, we have the meetup for a connection for purpose-minded people that provides support and accountability. You can attend purpose-driven gatherings quarterly. Oh, bless my heart. Let me take that off the screen. I got that typo. I can't be doing that. Oh, my name is on the line. It's a distraction. Why? Because we still having a meetup. Why? Because we're going to encourage people. Look how fast I got that. And that's how fast distractions try to get you. That small little thing, let it ride. Why? Because the purpose is that we come together and encourage somebody else and help them know that they were chosen for this and that this too shall pass and that they can make it and do whatever it is that they dream to do with the help of God. All right. So I share with you the quote of the night. Next week, join us as we will have Michelle Snow for Grow. Friends, this is going to be good. Why? Because after we go, we got to grow, and we can't have no apologies. People will not always understand why we're changing. People will not always understand that shift, but guess what? That shift to save you. Look at the blessings that Christian got in saying, all right, God, you said do it, let me do it. We can't get caught up in what the people, places, and things are saying if we're hearing directly from God. So friends, join us next week. It's going to be amazing. I love and appreciate you all for real. My heart is glad. I hope that yours is too. Again, please share, comment, let me know what your thoughts were as we continue to bring the community to you. Until next time, I love you all for real. Good night.
Friends, we thank you for joining Jen Cares this week. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Unable to watch us live? Be sure to find us on your favorite podcast platform. You can also visit our website, chosencounselors.com. That's chosen with a Z, so that you can stay in the know and most of all, never miss a show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Most of all, be sure to tune in for our next episode next Monday at 8 p.m. right here as we specialize in bringing the community to you.